Hey, what's up, HX users? I looked into some alternative ways to power my HX and I'm going to be sharing those here. First up, here's the Line 6 power supply. It's pretty large because of the size and the orientation of these prongs. Could be hard to fit underneath a pedal board. So what I was trying to do is look into some alternatives to get around using this. So we'll just set that aside. I decided to go with the Spot CS6. It seemed to put out plenty of power for what I needed, and it's pretty slim, so fit under a small pedal board. And from what I've read online, these 500 milliamp ports put out enough juice to power up an HX. My runner-up was a Strymon Ojai, I don't know how to say that, but decided against that because it also had an outside wall wart, and I just didn't want that. I like how this Spot is all self-contained. All I need to do is plug in a standard power cable and run it into a power line. Included with the Spot are cables and adapters. So comes with all these various adapters and stuff. So we have a standard cable. There's a Line 6 adapter because the inside is a 2.5 millimeter. It's a larger, the internal part is larger, so that a standard cable will not fit into the back of the HX. And then you have a Polarity Reverser. So for some reason, this is TrueTone, but other companies also seem to make Line 6 adapters reverse the power. Don't know why that is. I think it's for older Line 6 products, but products like the HX or the Stomp have a negative ground, so that's not needed. So this actually reverses out the reverse for the Line 6, and then this adapts it to the power. So we can plug that in to one of the 500 milliamp ports. Throw that in there and plug in the power. And start it up. So the HX supposedly draws about 1 amp, maybe 1100 milliamps. The Spot Pro maxes out at 1600, but the way it's configured, it can put out all that power through just one 500 milliamp port. It seems to have been working pretty good for the last couple months. I've had no problems with it at all working like that. Up until the last 2 weeks or so, when I first turn this on, when I start playing, it has been booting up. And when I flick on the switch, only the first time, it's not going to work now, of course. When I would turn it on, the HX wouldn't boot up at all, and this light would actually go out. But when I would turn it on again, it would work, and then from then on out, it would work fine. So just seemed to be a boot up problem, which made me want to explore another option. The next option I wanted to look at, because that issue of not booting up was starting to bother me, was actually making my own current doubler cable. So I did a little bit of research, and then after some Google and eBay and Amazon, I came up with, I got these cables. I actually bought 2 packages of them off of Amazon. Each one was about $8. One package for 5.5 millimeter shaft, and the internal is 2.1. Those would fit into the normal the regular plugs on the power supply. And then the 2-point, the other plugs were 5.5 millimeter on the outside, 2.5 millimeter on the inside, and that would fit into the back of the HX. So basically you'd take the two that go to the power supply and then the one that goes to the HX. You'd connect all the blacks together and you'd connect all the reds together and solder it together. So the resulting cable, after using my limited soldering skills, ends up looking like this. Soldered it together and heat shrinked it, and that's what you come up with. And compared with the alternative where you have a cable like this, it's kind of Frankenstein together. I think this is a neater solution. Actually, there are some other commercially available cables out there, probably from Voodoo Labs. I think they have one, a current doubler cable, but you're going to have to still use adapters to make it work to the HX. I just like this because this is nice and neat. So let's plug this in and try it out. So on the power supply side, we'll plug this into both 500 milliamp ports. And on the HX effects, we'll just plug this into the back and fire that up. There we go, boots up, and it's been working. So we're going to run with that for a while and see how that works, but I'm hopeful that this will take care of the boot problems. If you have any questions, send me a comment and I'll try to answer as best I can. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.